Alright, here we go with Lab 2 of Week 6. I went ahead and skipped past tasks 1 and 2. They're just describing basic things that we do every single week. So now we come down here to your host file. I already logged into it, and these are already there. Lucky me, so I don't have to put anything in through the VI. But just to make sure they're there, we can do the ping dash count 5. We'll do 19. Oh, wait, let's just do host 11. There. If you don't add in the dash C5, you can either put it here. Whoops. You can either put it here, or you can put it behind it. Here, I'll show you the different example. Or you can do ping host 12, because that's the other host, dash C space, and we're only going to do 3 this time. So there you go. 1, 2, 3. That way, other words, if you don't put in the count and the 3 on Linux machines, it'll just continuously ping, 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 ping. Then you got to figure out what the break command is, which is Control C for future reference. If not, you got to close out the screen, then reopen it. It's just kind of a pain in the butt. So anyway, pause it. I'm gonna move on to task 4, and it looks like we have 1, 2, 3, 4 screenshots we're gonna need here. So stand by. Okay, quick run through of where we at. Step 2 here. We did the grep that searches for FTP in the password file. We get this, then we change to the home student directory and we're looking for the FTPD package, or the VSFTPD package. So we did this command to see if it's there. We did a query and it says it's not installed. So then we did check config and we listed that out looking for the service or the daemon, whatever. And then it says can't find it. So now we're going to go ahead and install it here. So while that installs, I'm going to pause. And of course, as soon as I pause, it went ahead and finished up. So now we're going to move down here to step 3. So, because we need to. There we go. We're going to turn the service on. There we go. Or that doesn't turn on. What am I saying? This turns it on. VSFTPD. That turns it on. The chconfig enables it upon boot up. So I believe these are prompt after you're successfully logged in. Okay, so we need to capture this. I'm going to pause this while I do my screen capture real quick. Forgot to turn the recording back on. I'm talking to myself. So we did the. I tried to use the shortcuts. A temporary failure logged me in. Just in case, I did exit and I came back and I did the FTP localhost, which logged me in just fine as well. I used anonymous as my username, then come down here for the password and use your root at unix.net. So now it says going to use that. Seeing how we're done with all that, we'll just jump right on and we'll do. Oh, I guess it's quit. Whatever. Now we have to add a warning message. So we're going to change to our FTP folder. And then we're going to go into the VI and do the hidden message file. And this is going to be fun. I wonder if it'll let me copy and paste. Alright, let me play around with this. Yeah, I definitely couldn't find a shortcut to do the copy and paste command, so I ended up having to type it all out. I also had to maximize the screen here so that it would all fit in on one line. So now I got the right quit. Okay, now I got the right quit. There we go. Now that should be modified. Now we need to test message. Yep. Okay, so that's right. Good to go. So incoming directory and pre-login. So let's do what's going on here. There we go. Great, here we go. And I believe this is a screenshot. Yeah. Interesting. So the file tells us here that we're enabling anonymous access. We're allowing local users to log in. We're allowing people to write. I don't know, I didn't read that one. And this one right here, I did read. Anonymous upload enable equals yes, but it's commented out. So basically they're saying that anonymous users cannot upload anything. Big security hole. So then we do Q to quit, and we're going to use the cat command in here to go ahead and look at a couple more. One is going to be the user list file. And, whoops. Why did it last? And there you go. Shows all our users. And we'll quit that. We'll go back up. And now we're going to look at our FTP users. And if I'm getting this right, anywhere in either of these three files, you can go ahead and deny somebody, and it will deny them from the actual FTP services. I know I've played around with a few other ones before. When you're trying to add a new user, you're trying to prevent somebody from logging in, you only have to do it in one spot, and if you have them in one spot, it denies them from the whole damn thing, which when you're trying to troubleshoot it kind of sucks, because you got to go to 3 different areas, make sure they're allowed in every single area before they're actually allowed. Just a troubleshooting nightmare. Anyway, I digress. We'll get back onto this, and I'm going to jump down to step 6. So we went into the VI real quick, and we added our all down here at the bottom, which is implicit deny to all, so nobody should be allowed now. So imagine that. So we went ahead and we saved our VI. We came out, we did an FTP localhost to jump into our localhost connection here, and it says service is not available. Probably because we're blocked. So we go ahead and quit on out of there, and then we do the VI etc host allow. We'll modify this. We went ahead and added a implicit all. Anybody on the localhost local domain is going to be allowed. So now we're going to exit, and we'll do right quit. Now we're going to test it out. And boom, look at that, it lets us in. Anonymous root unix.net, and our warning banner is there as well. Cool. And now it has us go on, and it wants us to look at the manual. There you go. This gives you all kinds of nifty little things you can do. Also, once you go down here, jump into 12. Jump into 12 and then try to FTP over to host 11. Now remember, you're going to have to go back in these files, and you're going to have to allow that. They give you a hint here to allow it. I wonder if you got to modify that. You might have to modify that other file to not deny. Well, no, because I guess I guess your allow file comes before your deny file. So that's interesting. It's different than what I've usually seen. Usually it wants to deny everything before it allows it. So if it denied all, everybody should be denied. That's how it's going to work on a lot of, like Cisco and a lot of other things you work with. You have to tell it to allow something, otherwise it's just going to deny it. So it's interesting. So I guess it goes through the allow file first, looks for what's allowed, and then it goes to the deny file, make sure nobody's denied. What happens if you get one of each? We'd have to test that out. Actually, I'm gonna play with it a little bit. So we went ahead and started the service here. Remember that you're Remember that you got a screenshot. Now this is something that you're gonna want to know. So we started the service here. I think I already did or videoed that. And then we SSH into our local host. This really doesn't make any sense because if we're on our local host, then why do we want to SSH into it? Usually you want to SSH into it if you're sitting on some other computer and you want to SSH into, if this was say your FTP server on your network and you're sitting at your local machine in your cubicle on the other side of the planet, you SSH into it because SSH provides encryption across the links. Nobody can see what you're doing, hopefully, using RSA keys. And the first time you log into anything with SSH, it's going to say, here's your fingerprint, da 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 da. That's basically just a hexadecimal identifier for your host and the key that's being used. So you always want to accept it. Once you accept it, it shouldn't prompt you again unless if you connect through it through a different manner. So if you go to another machine and you SSH into it, yes, it's going to prompt you again because now you're on a new machine. Or if you SSH into another machine, it's going to have a different fingerprint, so you got to accept that. So anyway, you want to use SSH as much as humanly possible to make sure all your stuff is encrypted. And now we're going to use the secure copy command. I'm almost out of time, so I'm going to do this real quick. I changed the directory over to the root. I made the root/bin folder.